Hello my schoolers, welcome to my school channel. My name is Alexandra. So right now we'll be looking at verb under English grammar. We'll be looking at the types of verb or the classification of verb. We'll also be looking at examples under each of these classifications. Do not go anywhere, stay with us and we'll be right back. Welcome back to my school channel. So right now let's begin with the topic verbs. Now we have two objectives for this lesson. Number one is the definition of verb, and number two is you will be able to list the types or the classifications of verb with examples in sentences and in isolation as the case may be. Now let's start with the first objective. What is a verb? Now, verb is used to indicate actions. And as you can see on the board, verb is used to indicate action. So generally, it is known or it is defined as an action word. So a verb is an action word. A verb is used to indicate action. A verb is used to indicate occurrence. Anything that anyone can do in general. For example, drink, you're doing something. Eat, you're doing something. Sleep, walk, run, and so on and so forth. Now let's take a look at this example, or let's take a look at the example of verb in a sentence. She ate the food. Now, ate is the action word in this sentence. She is doing something, and what is she doing? Eating. But to make the sentence accurate, we use past tense. She ate the food. Now there are various types of verbs. Okay, the verb in English is complex in terms of classification and types. But the good news is I will be simplifying all the types or all the classifications with examples in sentences. Now let's move to the second objective using the visual display. So the first classification or the first type we'll be looking at is the transitive verb. The transitive verb. Now what is a transitive verb? Now a transitive verb takes a direct object in a sentence. Now first and foremost, what is an object? So I would like to explain what an object is and what a subject is, because you need to understand these two concepts before attempting this. Now a subject is the doer of an action, one who does an action. For example, she ate the food. She is the one doing something, and so she is the subject. She is the doer of the action ate. Now object is the receiver of an action. So whatever receives an action in a sentence is the object. For example, she ate the food. The food is the receiver of the action. Let's take a look at the example for subject and object concept. Dr. Brown tested the patient. Dr. Brown is the subject, the doer of the action. He's the one doing something. And what is he doing? He's testing. Who is he testing? The patient. The patient is receiving this action. I wrote the book. I is the subject. The book is the object. I is the one doing the action, which is writing or wrote, and the book is the receiver of the action. Abiola slaughtered a cow. Abiola is the doer of the action. The cow is the receiver of the action. Now that we understand the concept of subject and object, now what is a transitive verb again? Now a transitive verb takes a direct object in a sentence. Now let's take a look at this example provided again. Dr. Brown tested the patient. Now what a transitive verb implies is that it will always take an object. There would always be a receiver of the action. And as you can see in this example, the patient is available, and so the patient is the object and the patient is the receiver of the action. Number 2, the book is the object. So this kind of verbs are called transitive verb because they take a direct object. So this is to say in general or in conclusion that we can only determine if a verb is transitive in a sentence. So when they ask you what type of verb is tested, you can't tell except it is used in a sentence. So in a sentence like this, it is called a transitive verb. Now let's take a look at the next type of verb. So we'll be looking at intransitive verb. Now intransitive verb is simply the direct opposite of a transitive verb. Now what does intransitive verb mean? An intransitive verb does not take a direct object in a sentence. So while transitive verb takes a direct object, intransitive verb does not take an object. Let's take a look at an example carefully. They ran. No object. They ran slowly. No object. Now you should note that a subject and an object are usually noun or pronouns. That is the part of speech of subject and object. They are always noun or pronoun. Now this word is an adverb. I won't be explaining what adverb is, but subsequently in our videos, I'll be explaining what an adverb is. But this is an adverb. So this sentence, the verb in this sentence is an intransitive verb because it does not have a receiver. This is only describing how they ran. They came yesterday. This also does not have an object. What it has is an adverb. The bridge collapsed. Now this does not have an object. Nobody is receiving the action. This is the subject and this is the verb. Now that is all for today's lesson, but then I've prepared a special video to treat the remaining classification of verbs. So I would suggest and advise you subscribe for this special package. And how do you do this? All you need to do is you click on the link in the description below, which takes you to the My School website. There you'll be requested to subscribe. Please go ahead and subscribe so you can enjoy the remaining content of this lesson. Do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and then tap on the bell notification to get informed as soon as we release the next videos.